Hi everyone. In today's lesson, we are walking through one of the core tasks every Windows Server administrator should master: creating user accounts in Active Directory. Whether you're setting up a new organization, onboarding staff, or just learning how Windows Server 2025 works in the real world, understanding both the graphical method and the PowerShell method will save you time and keep your environment organized. I'll show you the steps in a simple, practical way so you can apply them immediately. So today we're going to create an OU, which is organizational unit on domain controller. We'll create user accounts on Active Directory users and computers. That's using the GUI, graphical user interface. We'll create user on the Windows Server 2025 using PowerShell. And then these users that we've created using the GUI and the PowerShell will log on using those accounts on the Windows Pro that has been joined to the domain. So I want you to follow along as we continue. So from our server manager dashboard, we go to tools. We want to create an OU now. So from tools, you go to Active Directory users and computers. If I say ADUC, I meant the same thing. So you click on that, you expand your pane, and you right click on this, and you say new, and you say organizational unit. What is an OU? An OU is a container that holds user accounts, computer accounts, groups, and other OUs, allowing administrator to organize and manage network resources logically. So we're gonna name this OU. Let's call it California. Say okay. Create another OU again. We call it Chicago. Create another one. I mean, you can create as many as possible. Create another one. You can say Lagos. So next thing now is we want to create a user. So for us to be able to create a user, so we navigate to the OU where we want to create the user. So let's go to Chicago, right click on Chicago, and you come to new, and you click on user. The first name, we can say John. Last name, we can say Smith. The username, I mean, you have to use a convention, and the convention always goes with the convention that is actually being defined by the company. So we can say J or John, first name, dot Smith, and you click next. Here we'll enter a new password, and we'll enter again to confirm. And what you make your password here, it's depends on your company's security policy. So I'll recommend using at least 8 characters, which include a special character, numbers, and uppercase letters. And also here, user must change password at the next logon. It is usually recommended to click on this because you want all accounts to have unique passwords. So forcing users to create their passwords is more secure and best practices. Click on next and click finish. So John Smith is in the Chicago OU container. And also, if the company actually has some set of rules, you may quickly just go straight to the properties to set some general properties. You may want to maybe include the office where the person is. Let's say maybe like an accounting office, you can set that. Then, if you also want to set an account restrictions, as logon restrictions, account expirations, and all that, you can come to the account tab, and here you can say if the account is locked, you can actually unlock it. If you want the account to expire, you can check on this and make it end for logon hours too. You can decide when the person can log on, whether it's maybe on Sundays or maybe on Saturdays or Fridays. Then you okay it. Then log on to so if you want the user to be able to log on to all computers on the network, or maybe the following specific computers, you can define all those rules also here. This is where you can actually do it. And also, if you have a security group and you want the user to be a member of the security group, like the way it is here, maybe you created a security group and maybe they have unique functionalities that they actually do. You can add the member here. Quickly come here and add them. And also another thing again is you can create this user account under a particular OU, and you make the account just a template. And when I say template, it's going to be a disabled account, and you build up on that account. So in case you want to create another account, all you just do is you just say copy. Then it's going to inherit almost all the features, all the properties of from this user account. But you have to be very careful so that you don't eventually give access. An access to a user that you don't want uh, for to actually inherit a particular access that they don't need. So you have to be careful also in that situation. So we also create another user in the Lagos office. So you could say, so we go to new, we say user. We can decide to say um, Rainer Williams. Serena Williams. So you notice that the full name is it auto populates itself. So just say next. Then user must change password at next login. We leave that also at that. Then say next. Say finish. So we have Serena also here at the Chicago office. So there is one interesting move that we're going to do now. So Serena ought to be in the California or the Lagos office. So let's choose the California office. So we're just going to right click and you click on move. And if you see the containers, you see there is California. So where we want Serena to actually be. So you just say OK. And you can see the user is no longer here at the Chicago OU. So if we check California, yeah, here is Serena Williams at the California office. So also right now we're going to create another user. So but this time around we're going to use copy. We're going to use copy, the copy method. So when we copy this particular user, we want this user to be at the Lagos office. We're just doing this purposely so that you can see different ways whereby we can create users. So this user, we just say Elon, and we use mask. And we say Elon dot mask. Then we next. Then set the password, do the same thing, say next, then we finish. So as Elon is here, you can see that copy also does that. And if we check, I mean, if you check the properties, there's something that is actually going to be unique about it. If we check the properties, you would see that I didn't mean that we actually defined so let's create another one here. It's going to be at the, I mean, this user is actually going to be resident at the Lagos office. So let's create a copy here, copy. And for this user, we say David. Then the last name, we say Jones. I will say David Jones. And next, say supply the password. Click on next. Oh, the password doesn't match. You see, that's the beauty of this. The security policy that actually sets this. So we're going to make sure that the password actually match. So next, finish. So I just want you to go ahead and move the user accounts into the Lagos office. Yeah. And this completes the steps on how to create a user account in Active Directory using the GUI, that's the graphical user interface. So the next one now is we're going to use the PowerShell. So before we go on to creating using the PowerShell, there are some things that I want us to actually take note of. So there is a folder called the attribute editor, which is actually a tab. If we go on to a user now, primarily using this view under our active users, active directory users and computers, if we right click and say we can even go under users. If you say this Lagos folder, and we say right click and we say properties, one would see, you would see that it only brings out general, managed, and com tab. So there are other tabs here that are actually going to be revealed to us by the time we enable that. And how do we actually bring that up? We go to the view under ADUC view, then we say advanced features. So when we do that, so under the OU that we actually want to create a new account, let's say Lagos. If we right click now and we say properties, you see we have this attribute editor. And there is one unique thing about this advanced feature. So if you notice, when we created an OU the other time, there was a portion that actually says save OU from accidental delete. So here, if you uncheck this button, it means that you can now delete any of these OUs that you've actually created, but be very careful. And so you don't just do that. If I click on this now, it means that the OU, they're actually prone to deletion now, but I'll just take it back so that we can protect the objects from accidental deletion. So what we want to take note of is this attribute editor. So let's come here. We come here and we take note of the distinguished name. If you see OU Lagos DC, whatever your domain controller name is what's going to be here, and the DC2, whatever it is, you might have used .org, you might have used .com, you might have used .net, but if you have something as well, just note this convention down because it's going to be useful. OU Lagos DC plug DC come. So whatever yours is, I mean, you would see. So we close this back. So we go ahead and launch our PowerShell ISC. You click on this and you run as administrator. And you simply click on new file. You see right here we import module active directory. So you make sure that you actually run this PowerShell on a domain controller. So that has the Active Directory actually installed. So the next thing is we could actually attack this or approach this in different ways. So the first one is you could ask for user to supply the username and the first name and the last name, and it generates all the parameters for you or for us, or we could just supply all the, it's not going to be dynamic. We just supply the name straight. We had code the name into all of the parameters, but let's just do the first one let us make it dynamic by asking for the first name and the last name. So we say that's a variable, first name. Yeah. Read hosts is the first one. And you say prompt. You say please enter the first name. You do for the last name as well. Variable last name. Say read. Okay, so we're meant to close this. Read hosts file. Prompt. Please enter last name. So go ahead now and we create the ADUser name. So say new ADUser. First parameter is name. So the first one is the first name variable with the last name. Close that, tilde. Go on tab. Use the given name, which is the first name. We close that. We do the store name, which is the last name. Close it up. Then also we do the SAM account, SAM account name. The SAM account name also takes the convention of the first name, concatenates with the last name. We close this. Oh, that's a tilde. So for SAM account is actually a legacy account name for pre-Windows 2000 logon name in Active Directory AD. It's typically like 20 characters, and it's unique per domain, and is actually used for backward compatibility and often as seen. Let me show you. Let me show you something so you can see the SAM account. So if you open your active users and directory users and computers, you come to the user, you go to properties, you go to attribute editor. You're gonna see the SAM account here. See, look at it. Convention, the first name dot the last name. That's the SAM account. Then also we are also going to point to something called the user principal name, which is this is convention. You're gonna see us do that also right now. Is this one. So we're gonna write next. That's the user principal name, which also comes as the first name concatenated by the last name at the domain name. Whatever your domain name is, you replace it with that. So then the path. If you remember this path, I highlighted at the beginning where we want this account to actually be residents. That's the Lagos OU. The DC is qplug and DC com. Then we close it out. So let me show you also how it came about this. So this very right here. So if I come here, come to the OU properties. You remember I said attributes editor, distinguished name. Look at this. OU Lagos qplug com. This is it here. So that's how we actually came about that. So the next one is we do the account password. Account password. We actually gonna convert to string, secure string. Yeah, as you can see, IntelliSense. I'm glad that works. So, and you could just set a password of choice. At this point, we just set a generic password. Close that out as plain text. Don't forget that. Then we force it, and with tilde, close that. And the next one, change password at logon. We set that to 1. So let's run this and see what we have. We run this. Okay, so you see at the bottom, then oh, we have double here. Okay, we're gonna take care of that. So for the first name is gonna be say Bill. The last name we say Gate, and we enter. See, Bill Gates. So it took it. So let's go to our Active Directory users and computers console, which is this. So the Lagos. Let's refresh. Oh yes, this is it here. Bill Gates. This is it. So if we click on to check the properties to see the things we've actually set, let's go to the attribute editor. The you see distinguished name. You see it's resident in here. CN name, that's Bill Gates. Come all the way to the SAM account as set. See Bill.gate. If we go to the user principal name, we'll see again. Look at that. Just look at that as defined. Just look at that, which is same thing here. Um, Look at that. This, you see this, um, as against what we have here. You can see that. It's look at that. That's it. So as you can see, the user is actually in at the Lagos organizational unit, and if you can see, there's a downward arrow, which means that this account is not enabled. The account is not enabled. So for us to be able to enable this account, say you right click and you enable the account. See, object Bill Gates has been enabled. And you can do it in such a way that you can also, I'll challenge you, you can do yours and enable through the PowerShell script. So the next phase now is we're going to log on to our client computer, Windows 11 Pro, with the users we've created using the GUI and the PowerShell. So to log on, so we're going to try John Smith. John Smith. So we go straight to our Windows and we try John dot Smith. And we try the password. So enter. If you remember, we set that user must change password before signing in. So we say okay, and we supply the new password. And please, you're going to confirm the password. Um, let's try. So we confirm the password and we say sign in. So it's changing. Your password has been changed. So we say okay. Welcome, John Smith. Yeah. So it's signing us in as the first sign in from the user created. Yes, there we are. So if you look at the name underneath, it's John Smith. So John Smith is logged on. So we try another user, which is so you come here, you see, you sign up. So we use Bill Gates. So come here, so Bill Gates. Okay. Sure. Well, same thing. The user's password must be changed before signing in. You remember from our script. Look at it. It said change password and log on. That's one. So we go back. We say okay. We also change the password. you forgot your password, you just contact your admin and they will change the password for you. They will search and you change again till you get it. So the user, Bill Gates, is signing in. So it says password has been changed. So say okay, welcome. Yes, and here we are. We've been able to sign in as Bill Gates. If you look at it, if you look at it, see bill.gates at keeptalk.com. And that's it. So if we recap, creating accounts on Windows Server 2025, we've been able to actually create an OU, and also we've been able to create users under this OU using the GUI, and also we've been able to create user accounts using the PowerShell, and also we've been able to actually log on to our client computer using the account we created using the GUI and the PowerShell. I hope you had a great time following along, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more quick IT videos. Thank you.